What's up everybody, Aditya Mahajan here and welcome back to yet another YouTube video. In today's video, we'll be solving another LeetCode question number 696, also called as count binary substrings. It has also been asked in day 23 of April LeetCode challenge, so let's get started. Given a string S, count the number of non-empty contiguous is important, contiguous substrings that have same number of zeros and ones, and all the zeros and all the ones in these substrings are grouped consecutively. Substrings that occur multiple times are counted the number of times they occur. Okay, so basically what they have given is we are given a string S and we need to return the number of substrings. Okay, so these substrings have a few conditions that it needs to satisfy. So the first condition that they have given for the substring is they should be non-empty. Second condition that they have given is the number of zeros and number of ones should be equal. Okay, and the third condition is all the zeros that are present in the substrings and all the ones that are present should be grouped together. That is, they should not be mixed like we have 0, we have 1, we have 0. They should not be like that. All the zeros should be grouped together and all the ones should be grouped together. Also, they have said that substrings that occur multiple times, we can count them that many number of times, that many times they occur. Okay, now let us look at some of the examples that we are given. These are the same examples that we are given in the problem statement. Okay, so the first example has the input as 0 0 1 1 0 0 and 1 1. Okay, and the expected output is 6. So try to remember the three conditions that we said in the problem statement. First is non-empty substrings, second is same number of zeros and one, and third is all the zeros together and all the ones together. Okay, so after looking at that, we can find these six substrings. Okay, now let us try to find out in the input. The first is 0 0 1 1, that is this. Next we have 0 1, that is this. Then we have double 1 double 0. Then we have 1 0. Then we have double 0 double 1, and finally we have 0 1. Okay, so some of the substrings that we have are repeating. So the repeating substrings are 0 1, and they are counted the number of times they are repeating. And also the complete string is not a valid substring because all the zeros and all the ones are not grouped together. Okay, we have few zeros, then we have few ones, then we have again few zeros. So that is mentioned in our condition. If we look at the example number 2, that is 1 0 1 0 and 1. In this, no zeros and no ones are grouped together. Okay, so we cannot go for substrings more than length 2. Okay, so the substrings that are possible is 1 0 0 1 1 0 and 0 1. Here too we can see that the repeated substrings are counted that many number of times. They are directly consecutive: 1 0 0 1 1 0 and 0 1. Okay, so these are the examples. Now let us look at how we can approach to the problem statement. So now while thinking the solution of the problem, I want you to remember the three conditions and try to think of it in that terms. Okay, so the most important thing is that zeros and ones should be consecutives, and second is they should be together. Okay, so technically what the problem is saying is that these two things, and these two things are kind of like similar, or we can basically club them to form a group or a block or whatever we can say. So basically here we have four groups of zeros, ones, zeros and ones. Okay, and the main important thing what we need of these groups is the number of times any particular character is coming in that group. So let's say we have 2 times 0, we have 2 times 1, we have again 2 times 0, and again we have 2 times 1. Okay, so how can we use this information for solving the problem? Okay, now let us go step by step. Let's take these two characters or elements that we have. So we have two zeros and two ones. Okay, so think of this substring or these two groups and how many substrings that are possible in this. There are only two substrings, that is this and this, that is 0 1 and 0 0 1 1. Okay, so for these two groups we have just two substrings that are possible. Now rather than thinking of this, think of that we have three number of ones. And now what would be the case? I mean, what would be the total number of substrings that are possible? In this case, to this extra one that we are getting wouldn't be of any use because the number of zeros are just two. So it cannot be, the third one cannot be included. In very similar way, if we think that we have rather than two, we have three number of zeros, In this case too, we will just have two substring, because this extra zero wouldn't be of any use because we just have two number of ones. So what I'm trying to convey is that from these two groups, we will only have that many number of substrings, that is the minimum number of count that we are having of each group. So minimum number of zeros or minimum number of ones. So for example, if we have 5 ones and 4 zeros, then we will have 4 substrings that are possible because only 4 zeros are minimum, right? So now if we look at these two, here we had two substrings found because minimum of 2 and 2 is 2. Here too we have 2 and 2, so minimum of these two will be also be 2. And here too we have 2 and 2, so minimum of these two will also be 2. So the total number of substrings that are found is 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is our answer, right? So that is it. That's the first approach that we'll be trying out. To summarize the first approach that we just discussed, what we basically did is we took the similar characters, made a group out of them, and stored what the total number of characters that are present in each group. And we can go with a vector for this and store the total number of characters that are present. So for example, we have 2 zeros, then we have 2 ones, again we have 2 zeros, and again we have 2 ones. Okay, so and after that we compared two consecutive groups and found out how many number of strings are possible. Okay, and while comparing two, we took the minimum and then just returned it. Okay, so this would basically be O of n time complexity and O of n space, because we are using an extra vector to store variables. Okay, so that's it. Now let us look at the code, how we can implement it. Okay, so this is the code that we have just discussed the approach of. So what basically we are doing here is we are creating a vector called as groups, and we are initializing its size to the size of the string, because in the worst case, if the digits are alternating, our group will have maximum size of the size of the string. Okay, so we are also taking an index variable to just to make sure that we do not lose the index of where our current last group is. Okay, so we would be requiring the current group, because if the characters are same, we will be incrementing that index of the vector. Okay, then we are initializing the group's first variable, the vector's first variable to be 1, because it would be storing the counts and first would be 1 count. And after that we are iterating the string in this for loop. So basically what we are doing is we are iterating from the first index, not the 0, because we are comparing two consecutive, and we have done here one I minus 1. So we are basically comparing two consecutive characters in that string. So while comparing the two consecutive characters, there are two possibilities, that is either they are same or they are different, that is 0 and 1, or they are 0 and 0 or 1 or 1. So if the two consecutive characters are same, in that case what we'll just do, we just need to increment our current group's character, right? So we just do groups of index, because it will be pointing to the current group, and we'll just do plus plus to increment it by 1. Okay, now if there is a case that we have two consecutive characters to be different, in that case we need to move on to the next element of the vector, because this group has finished just now. So what we'll do, we are that is this check that two consecutive characters are different. In that case we are incrementing the index to move to the next element of the vector, and then we are doing its value, initializing its value to 1, that is similar to what we just did with the first element. Okay, so that is what we do. If the characters are different, we increment the index and set it again to value to 1, the vector element, or else we just increment that current character if the characters of consecutive characters are same. After that what we are doing is we need to iterate once more through the uh, groups vector that we just created to find the total number of substrings that are possible. So we have created an answer variable which would contain the binary substrings that are present, and in that, now while iterating, we'll compare two consecutive groups and find the minimum of the two consecutive groups that we just did in the example, that we had 2 zeros and 2 ones. So minimum of them would contribute to total number of substrings that are possible. So what is here what we are doing is we are just taking the answer variable and adding it to the minimum of two consecutive groups, that is group of I minus 1 and group of I. And when we exit out of this for loop, we are present with total number of substring, and that's it. That is the code for the first approach. Okay, so now that you have understood the first approach, the second approach is really very simple. It is just an optimization of the first approach. So, what we are basically doing in the first approach is that we were grouping the similar characters together, and after grouping, we were creating a vector of what every group's count of characters was present. Okay, and after that, what we were doing is we were comparing two elements, two groups to be particular, and then getting the minimum to find the number of substrings. So this and this. Okay, so I want you to observe one thing in our first approach is that do we really need, while comparing any two consecutive groups, do we really need the previous groups, previous all the groups that we have just created? For example, we are on this iteration and we are comparing these two. Okay, so this is our current pointer and this is one previous group. Do we really need this one? Do we need this value? No. If we move forward, we do not need this one too. Okay, so what I am basically saying is we just need the current pointers groups counter and then a previous groups counter. We do not need the previous all the things. So we will just remove this vector and we will use two variables, that is current group and previous group, to store the current iterations sum and a previous group's counter sum, and the rest of the vector elements are just not required. So we can optimize that, and let us look at the code so that you will understand it better. This is the code for the second approach. So what basically we are doing here is we are creating two extra variables, that is previous group count and current group count. Okay, so and the answer variable we have created here also in our first approach. Okay, so this is the same to store the number of valid binary substrings. Okay, now what we need to do is we are just iterating the string, which was very similar to our first approach, and this to the indices of the bounds of the strings, the for loop are very similar, that is exactly the same. And here to the case if else condition is also same, that is we are comparing the two characters while iterating the string. Okay, while comparing two characters, we are having that if two characters of the string are same, we just do one thing, and if the two characters are different, that is 0 and 1, in that case we do a different thing. Okay, so if the two characters while comparing the string are same, that is we are having 0 and 0 and 1 or 1, in previous case what we did is in the vector we just incremented its value. Okay, so because we had a vector earlier, but now in our case we are just having the current group counter variable, because we do not need everything, we just need a single variable which points to the current. So we are just incrementing the current group count variable by one. Okay, now if we are having the two consecutive string elements are different. Okay, that is s of I minus 1 is not equal to s of I. In that case what we are doing, we are just comparing the things, that is minimum of the previous group count, that is just the group which was previous to the current group, that the previous group counter, and the next one is the current group counter. We are not incrementing it this time because this time our element is different, so we are just comparing what is the minimum of these two, and we are just adding it to the answer. That is what we did in the second pass of our previous solution. We just did group of I minus 1 and group of I, comparing two consecutive groups and taking minimum of it into the answer. That is the very same thing that we are doing here. We are just comparing here two variables, and the minimum whatever is there, that many number of substrings would be available. Okay, after adding that to our answer variable, what we are doing here is we are just making the current group count, storing it into our previous group count variable. Okay, because now we need to move forward, right? And we are going to encounter a new group, which is why we are taking the current group counter and storing it to previous, and then making the current group counter to 1. That's it. That is the for loop while iterating the complete string. Okay, now there is one case, one probability that if while exiting the loop, we need to make sure that the last element is also compared. Okay, that is the last two groups are also compared. So what we do is we take the minimum of previous group count and the current group count after ending from the for loop of comparing the string, and then add it to our answer, and after that we just finally return our answer. Okay, that's it. That's the second approach. Now let's just quickly run our code and see if it works. Okay, now we are submitting it, and we are getting faster than 94%, and we have had runtime of 20 milliseconds and memory usage 10.5 MB. Okay, not bad. Earlier I got 16 millisecond once I submitted. This was the same code. So that's it for this video, guys. If you like the video, hit the like button, and if you did not understand anything, comment below. Do join the Discord server for future updates, and subscribe if you need more such lead code content. That's all for this video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.